Okay, it says we're live. I haven't gone live this way for a very, very long time. So I got a little confused. Oh, Mr. Microphone, you are like blocking my butterfly. Don't be doing that. Hello, everybody. It is so good to see you. I see some questions coming through, and I am going to do my very, 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 very best to keep up with them. I did title this Ask Me Anything, but I didn't say I'm going to answer everything in detail. So just that little caveat. And I always will answer polite questions, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting a disclaimer there. As long as everybody plays nice, I will answer questions. I will just jump right in. I so appreciate you guys being here. The reason I started at 6:15 and not 6 is because I was finishing up a show over on my other channel called the Niche Shopping Network. If anybody doesn't know about that, that is now where I hold, not only do I hold my live sales there, but we host other sellers to do live sales there. So it's just a channel that is a network of people who love to buy and sell. So all of the shopping action goes on over there. And we had just brought on a brand new host today. So I was her co-host to get going. And it was super fun. And we ended that just like right at 6 o'clock. And then I had to like set up and get ready for this. So I will jump into these questions. Let me see. Have you always lived in Vegas? Would love to see some small thrift stores to see the difference in pricing and types of items from mom and pop type stores to Goodwill. Okay. No, I have not always lived in Vegas. I actually was born and raised in Southern California, and I did not leave California till, let's see, goodness gracious, Noah is 19 now. And so 20 in my late 30s. So I moved to Arizona. That is where both Noah and Rachel were born, was in Arizona. And then from Arizona, I moved up to Reno, Nevada, which I absolutely hated. And one winter there, and I was begging to get out of there. And so then we moved here to Las Vegas, and I've been here now for, I think this is my 13th year here in Las Vegas, if I'm counting right. Yes. So I do go to some of the smaller thrift stores. I just can't go very often because the rotation of merchandise it doesn't happen as fast as like in a Goodwill. So people have like deja vu. If I go to a small thrift store, like, 2 weeks in a row, the stuff's going to be pretty much the same, except for like just some new stuff. So it makes it a little bit harder to create the content in those. But I go to Dog Junkies, which is a very, small boutique mom and pop thrift store that is total nonprofit, supporting a home for Spot to get doggies medical care, get them adopted. I go to, so the Assistance League isn't like a small thrift store, but it's not a big thrift store. And it's also all volunteer run, very nice thrift store. So I do try to get the variety in there, as well as the Goodwill savers, like we call them, the corporate thrift stores, that kind of thing. So thank you for kicking it off with that first question. Thank you. Dilly's telling me about the birdhouses with the small holes are made for purple martins. They're becoming rare and no other bird can fit in the house. Really? And somebody felt the need. See, this is what I'm talking about. Let's make her famous. Pass on watching this. We should have passed on leaving the comment too, but like, it's the rudeness of people. I gotta say, I don't let it bother me anymore. It used to bother me a lot. It really used to bother me. Now, I kind of feel sorry for those people. I really do. Dizzy D, how do you organize your merchandise? Well, I need to really do a video on this one day. I'll put like the larger version of it in the membership section. So I do have the Niche Nation membership where they're like, I can do more personal stuff like that. Whereas the general YouTube algorithm doesn't like when I do that, but I can put snippets of that kind of stuff in my regular videos, which I will do that too. So I actually rent a studio, which is what I'm in now. So this space I'm in is my live streaming and my shipping. So when I first buy things, they come in and they go to a room where the photography's set up, and I have cubby shelves. I have lots of cubby shelves left over from the Good Stuff thrift store, and I've utilized those. So the photos get taken, they go into an inventory room, also cubbies, and they're organized by the video that I bought them in, because that's just how my brain works. Where like I can find, I remember I bought this with this. They're organized in my Shopify store by collections based on the video they were in. So that just works really well. And then if I want to do a live sale, I pull the items, I bring them in here. A lot of the items you see behind me have been or will be coming up in a live sale soon. And then I have to have decorative stuff too. So some stuff just lives here, like my butterfly and the wood pieces and, the shell. Those I'm not selling. But then the other stuff is getting ready, to be in a sale. So, and that's kind of how I organize it. And I just keep rotating. And when the cubbies of inventory start filling up, that's when I run a clearance sale so that I can make room to bring in more stuff. And I just keep it cycling, which is a great transition to Barbara's question of how often do you purge on your inventory, or do you on items that don't sell? Yes, I have found that that's super important. Now, that being said, there are items known as long tail items, and you just have to learn what those are and what is worth taking up your inventory real estate space for storage. So items that are, say, like over $100 that need a special buyer, things that are seasonal, that, if I just hold on to this till the Christmas season, this is going to do well. Those types of things get held on to. Everything else, I kind of have a cycle. I give it about 2 weeks at full price. And after 2 weeks, I start doing markdowns. And then, once every couple months, I go crazy and do like a 50% off, like clearance, and just like I move it through. And yes, I do end up donating something, not very much though. Generally on my clearance sales, things move. But then there's some things I go like, all right, I really shouldn't have bought this. This just needs to go. And I do that too. Hi, Barb. All the critters are great. You want to see my new girl? I've been babysitting this girl because the owner moved and no longer had a great backyard for her. And so just got her to eat tortoise mush today, which she's happily doing. This is Chadwick. And she's very happy now. So tortoises are all doing great. Oh, we also just took on a new baby. My pond guy brought in a tub, a little guy. I'm back into the flipping stage. So when they're babies, they flip over a lot, and you have to be so vigilant and watch. And Priscilla has just gotten out of that stage. Like, we have not had a flip over for months, and now we have a new flip over creature. So yeah, he says, I don't know what to do with this. Can you take it? I'm like, what am I going to say? No, can't say no. But yeah, everybody's doing great. I need to catch up on Niche Lady Critter Cams. That's taken the least kind of priority line of my life right now, but I really, really want to get back to it. Pink tie dye says everything is, I didn't know that was a saying from a thing that like, and maybe that's where I didn't get it directly from any show or anything. I just like saying Everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. It's all fine. Like, that's kind of like my saying. So when I found the shirt that said that, it was just appropriate for me. It was just a good shirt for me. All right, I'm catching up here. Welcome in, welcome in. No, I can't. Mary, I can't do number one, I don't do auctions anymore at all. I had some lovely people here in Las Vegas kind of ruin that for me. But I do live sales over on the Niche Shopping Network. So just come over to the Niche Shopping Network when we do those sales over there. I do mine on Sundays and Mondays are my days. Sundays, I'm usually with somebody else, and Mondays, I do solo sales. And we do a lot of fun stuff. You can make offers, and we do giveaways, and we have a whole lot of fun over there. So that's where you can catch all the live sale action. And Melissa has put the link in there. Thank you, Melissa. Little White Quail. Oh, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. See, this is why I need to go live more often. I need to go live more often because I miss some of these names, seeing you guys. No, I am on the Niche Shopping Network. That is the network that is being developed by myself and Dawn of Hudson Vintage. And we are slowly putting this together with our years of reselling and the current atmosphere of online selling and video selling. We wanted to create something super special that was not cutthroat, that we don't take a commission from, that we truly support and help other small sellers, we call ourselves, grow and prosper and build a community. Because that's really that's, I think, what is so missing on some places is that really hardcore community. And so we're really developing that really, really strongly. And that's what's happening. How are your sales going during such a difficult time with the cost of everything up? Has the economy seemed to slow things down as a reseller? So what I will say is I'm doing fine. But as you know, I have a pretty big marketing platform, which not everybody does. And not everybody is cut out, to do a big YouTube channel. But I do think that more sellers, if you are struggling, need to learn to utilize social media better. It doesn't mean that you have to be on, you don't have to take pictures of yourself, but come up with something that resonates with your core customer that you're trying to reach. And this is what niche is all about, or niche, however you want to say it. This is why I'm the niche lady. This is what I teach, is that you need to learn who your customers are or who you want your customers to be. And you need to develop an inventory that appeals to them. And you also need to market to them, whatever that looks like. So that's truly what is it. That is how you stay alive in hard times, is having a relationship with your customers. It is hard times. It's a lot of work to keep up and do reselling. So you have to find the things that people need or just really, really want and will find a way to get, or you reach a clientele that's not feeling the impact as much. And face it, there's a huge population of wealthy people out there who are still shopping. When times get tough, where do you think they're going to turn to be frugal? They're going to go to the secondhand market and still pay $300 for that $800 purse. See what I'm saying there? So you can still do really, really well in a bad economy. I've been in reselling for decades. And although there wasn't eBay and there wasn't online selling back in the 80s, but who remembers the recession of the 80s? I was selling direct sales. I was a door-to-door salesperson I did vacuum cleaners. I did Watkins. I did, oh my gosh, I can't even think, all this stuff. You got to find the people that would still buy. But you can do it. You can get through it. We've gone through messy times in this country many, many times, and we always come out of it. I'm probably missing your current comments, but I wanted to hit these first questions that came in. Everybody missed Little White Quail. It's so sweet. I love it. And they eat mosquitoes. Who eats mosquitoes? Who eats mosquitoes? I really need somebody to eat mosquitoes because mosquitoes are tearing me up this year. Really bad. Thank you, Michelle. You guys leave the best comments. I just want to say, I read every single comment that comes through. I truly do. Sometimes it takes me a few days, but I stay on top of it. It's just something that's very important to me. You guys are taking the time to leave a comment. I'm going to take the time to read it. Sometimes I'm laying in bed and I'm going through. That's what the hearts are, because when I'm on my phone, it's really hard to for me to type back a message. But if there's a heart, I read it. And you guys leave the most supportive, wonderful comments that they mean the world to me. Honestly, if I didn't have those comments, I don't know that I'd keep this going. Sometimes it's a cruel world out there. Have you found a booth in an antique mall yet? Not yet. So something happened here in Vegas. Now, a lot of this is my own procrastination. I don't know what I was thinking. I waited and I waited. And when I finally decided to go to the mall that I was at before, where I got along with everybody, it had good traffic, I did well, I procrastinated in going and getting a space because I'm just like, oh, they always have spaces. So when I went in, there was she told me, oh my gosh, we just signed 6 contracts yesterday. But there's one left. This person's moving out the end of the month. They show me the space. They call to just verify that it's going to be the end of the month. And the seller goes, you know what? I've decided not to move out. So there was nothing available. So I am first on the waiting list for when a space becomes available. But what happened was another antique mall in town got put under new management, and the new manager decided that antique malls were old news, and he's turning it into just a mall, basically like an indoor swap meet. So the vintage sellers they're mass hiatusing and looking for other spaces. So space is at a premium here in Vegas. I wish somebody would open a new mall. I really did. When did you start taking care of tortoises? Oh, how did it all happen? So when I was going through my divorce, we ended up going to a family Bible study fellowship, and the people that ran it had tortoises. And one day they had baby tortoises, and we were smitten. And so they gave us one, and we did not know how to take care of it. And it passed. And that broke my heart so bad. You don't even know. If I am responsible for anything not living, I will have nightmares for eternity over that. So I learned literally everything I possibly could about these creatures, and then was presented with another one. And then that time it's I found a mentor that is a collectory turtle. Oh my gosh. Tortoise turtle rescue down in Casa Grande, Arizona. She has been my mentor for years, and she has answered all my questions and helped me learn. And anytime I have an issue, I can still go to her. And Eileen came from her. So Eileen was flown up here from Casa Grande, Arizona to come live with us. But that, they're such amazing creatures. They're little dinosaurs with personalities, and I couldn't love them more. I don't know. It's a weird creature to be absolutely obsessed with, but I really am absolutely obsessed with them. That's awesome, Michelle. She looks for everything to have marks. Yeah. But some of the best stuff doesn't have marks. That's what you have to remember. That was what can set you apart in finding that really awesome item, because not everything is marked. Oh, Diana, I love this question. Is 62 too old to start selling? Heck no. I don't know if my mom's in the chat. That's how this all got started. So my mom and I would talk via Skype. Do you remember Skype? It was like the first FaceTime, able to talk with somebody else in another state kind of thing. And my mom was working outside the home and she was exhausted. She was a caretaker. And I was like really worried because they were having to like carry laundry upstairs. I'm like, Mom, you can't keep doing this. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not techie. I can't learn to do this on the internet and none of that. And I taught her via Skype how to sell on eBay. And she, in 6 months, was able to quit her job. And she specialized in vintage yarns, hard to find, discontinued yarns. And then she started an Etsy store and started, making her crafts and doing that. And yeah, so no, you're never too old. Never too old for anything. Okay, maybe you're too old. Too old for some things. Yeah, I'm too old. I'm too old to be go-karting with Noah anymore. I've figured that out. Wow. Photographed and measured 52 pieces of clothing, Jojo. That's amazing. I don't know how far I'm pretty far behind in these, you guys. I'm pretty far behind. I'll catch up. I got to talk faster. Did you have an auction on the stuff that was left in your storage unit after the store closed? No. Long story short, I had hired an auction company to come in and help sort. And so they send out a salesman to get you signed up, and you make an agreement with that salesman. And then they send the workers, and the workers have a totally different idea of how to do things because they want to do it their way. And so things did not align well. and therefore the owner got on the phone and yelled at me for telling his workers what to do. Which all I was doing was telling them, no, that's not for the sale, because that was the agreement, that I was still going to be pulling some things that I was keeping. And it got really ugly. And he said, you go ahead and sort it and set it up and we'll come back and run the auction. And I said, absolutely not. That is not how this is going to work. And so we ended that contract. And I did end up putting a lot of stuff in storage again. And I donated a ton. Mainly to Dog Junkies. Dog Junkies, I'm sorry, I forget the name of the other nonprofit that we donated to. There was just a lot of donating. Yeah, but yeah, that was not a pretty time. Priscilla 2.0. Yeah, we're thinking if this turns out to be a boy, we'll name it Elvis. Elvis, Priscilla. You get it. Justina. So, I mean, eBay is pretty user-friendly to start. There are a lot of guidelines and things. Like, people ask me to make, some how-to videos and stuff, but honestly, the stuff that eBay has there, they have like a whole like eBay university. You can go step by step to do all the, just the how-tos. My specialty is, once you are up and running and your setup is now, how do you reach your customers? How do you market your items? How do you improve your listings? That's my specialty. But really, the getting started part, really just go to eBay and follow their how-tos on getting it all set up. And then once you get that step, then you can dig in and get to the meaty part of it. I have over 1,000 videos on this channel. Can you believe that? Over 1,000 videos. And there's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of playlists too, like shipping. I've got, I don't know how many, maybe 100 videos just on shipping. So there are videos. If you go onto my channel and do a search, usually you can find what you're looking for. Tamara, we're not releasing that information. So it is no time soon. I will just say that much. It's no time soon. We still have a lot of time to plan. Yeah, Jordan doesn't want that info getting out for the fear of, people are ugly and people will try to do things to sabotage things. So we're not giving any of that personal information out. How did Dawn and I make a connection? Well, she jokingly says she stalked me, which is a little funny because I had a stalker situation. But what she means is she built a relationship with me by showing up in my chat and in my comments. And then she became a moderator for me. And then I don't even remember what the first time we had we had a phone call. And we just really clicked. And then from there, we talked a little bit more on the phone. And then we both went to a retreat together. And we were roommates for 4 days. And at the end of it, she's like, do you realize we've just now spent 4 days together solid and we still like each other? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And we've kind of been besties ever since then. And so yeah, it just, sometimes you just click. There's just people you click with. Thank you guys. Barbara says, I have trouble organizing shipping boxes. Do you designate a box for items before or after a sale? So I order specific sizes of boxes. So I keep in stock 12 by 12 by 12s, which is the biggest size you can have before going into oversize. 10 by 10 by 10, 8 by 8 by 8, 6 by 6 by 6, and 4 by 4 by 4. And then I have a couple of 16, 12, 8, and a 15, 11, a couple of oddball sizes in between. 99% of what I sell fits in one of those sizes. If it's not going someplace that's within zone 1 to me, in that case, it all goes in priority boxes. And with priority boxes, if the box isn't big enough, I'll Frankenbox it and put it together. So generally speaking, I will find the box after I sell the item, which sometimes works and sometimes it's a pain because then I'm spending time trying to find a box, but generally not. Generally, it all fits into one of those box sizes. Okay. Hello. You guys are all saying hi. I do almost have 100,000 subscribers. You guys, it's been here. I know what the issue is. I see it in the analytics. Over 50% of my audience watches on a TV where it's very difficult to go find the subscribe button. You have to take some steps. You can do it. You can do it with your remote. I forget, you kind of go up and over, and then there's a button you can subscribe. So if just on the next video, if literally an eighth of the people watching would just do that, I would be there. Yeah. I don't take it personally because I know that's the reason. And I would much rather have the views than the subscribers. Although I really want to reach that goal. So if you're one of those who just hasn't found a way to do that because you're watching from the TV, I would love you so much. You can just take a moment just to do that. Boop. I want that little plaque behind me. I've worked hard for it. But yeah, I know why. Thank you for the kind words. Is Rachel still saving for a horse? No, Rachel has started to mature. Rachel is now very focused on going to college. She knows that her college is not going to be cheap. She wants to go learn graphic design, cartoon graphic design, possibly, make animated movies. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled because she's still going to pursue, her painting and that kind of art, but she realistically knows that's not probably going to be the best career to support herself. That's a side gig that could pay off later. But she's definitely pursuing a nice college education. Yes. Oh, birds eat mosquitoes. Yes. The purple martins eat. Okay. See how far behind I am? Frogs eat mosquitoes. I don't have frogs. I might get some frogs if I grow my pond, which I'm working on. Okay, here we go. I'm curious with the tortoises. What are your plans for them long term? Yeah. See, that is a concern because tortoises live, 100 years old. So the kids know if for some reason they don't want to keep care of the tortoises, I do have the collectory is the rescue of choice that would take them on. Hoping it never comes to that. And there would be a financial allotment that I would also put in there for them to be taken care of. Rachel loves the animals as much as I do. So I don't see her wanting to get rid of them. Thank you, Barb. Yeah, I know Dawn got me wearing jewelry. I'm a jewelry girl now. Let's see. Get a bat house. I don't know. I mean, I suppose that would work. I don't know if we can attract that many bats. I'm wearing the turtle. I'm wearing the turtle on a torque. I am. Here's my little good luck charm. Let's see. I love you guys. You are my community. This is the best part about YouTube is recognizing like all your names and like you're friends to me. You are my people. I lead a pretty solitary life. I don't have a lot of social life. And so being able to talk to you guys is the best. I love it. Oh, yes. I was actually one of the original Amazon sellers back when they were just books. And I did that, and I did eBay in the very beginning. And then as Amazon expanded, and I did become one of their third-party merchants. When they introduced fulfillment by Amazon, I fully was on board. I did retail arbitrage, the whole 9 yards. My thing is with Amazon, there are a lot of complex bookkeeping numbers. And I don't mean just like your regular buying, selling stuff. There's your inventory maintenance. There's fees charged, long-term storage, quantity replenishment, like all of that kind of stuff that was just like no fun to me. I found no joy in that. Can you make a lot of money on Amazon? Oh, heck yeah. And I recommend if you are interested in Amazon, there's no better community to follow than Jim Cockram's My Silent Team. He's probably got one of the biggest Facebook groups there is. I definitely for reselling, he's got the biggest group, and it is a very well-run group and very, very nurturing to people growing a business. So in fact, I just went to his conference. I'm not an Amazon seller. I went to his conference in Florida because I love the people he attracts. And those are the kind of people I want to be around in this reselling business. And so it was really great, really, really great. But yeah, Amazon's great. If there's some people that are just more better. More better at that kind of business management. You know what? I think she's got her Etsy store closed right now, Celeste. But just send me an email. She just got her Facebook hacked. She lost her Facebook account. I don't even know what happened, and I don't know how to get it back for her. She's got to set up a whole new account for Facebook to get reconnected. But that's generally like now where she sells from, just a little bit here and there. She's pretty much retired. But if you want a turtle, and she's probably in the chat. I bet she's in the chat. Bobby Bushy is who you want to talk to about them turtles. Yes. I do appreciate the thumbs up. Let's see. How far behind am I? Oh, I'm catching up. I'm doing better. I am catching up. Ah, how do I appear so patient with technology? You know what? It's just professional uh what training? Like, okay, so when I was on the Vegas Video Network, that is where I truly learned about how you handle your appearance on screen when it comes to like nobody wants to stress out with you. You know, my director sometimes would be over, he'd be over in the production booth pulling his hair out trying to fix something, and he's like, you just keep smiling. He's in my ear, I got headphones on. He says, you keep going. It's all good. We're good. Yeah. You don't let him know. Never let him see you sweat. That never let him see you sweat thing comes from that. It's because generally an audience get that if you make people uncomfortable, like they don't want to be there. They're gonna leave. That's just kind of the training. So you grin and bear it. You're like, because at the end of the day, like, what are you gonna do? You got to figure it out, or you got to work around it. And my saying is always, if there's a woman, there's a way, and we figure it out. That's what we do. Oh, that's odd, Miranda, that it won't let you send a message through the chat. Yeah, email. If it's not something related to a product in my shop, then email is always best. But if it is product related, make sure when you email me, you also let me know, what product it's related to. Diana, yeah, if you love something, it can override life's pains. Definitely. Like most people know, I'm almost, I have better days than others, but I pretty much am chronically in pain. But you don't let your brain focus on it. And I think that's what you're saying. You can go and do something that brings you joy, and then you don't focus on it. Yeah. Okay, I'm catching up. Da, da, da. It's amazing with the smart TVs now and the Fire Sticks and the Rokus that nobody really even needs network TV anymore. I mean, it's like, that's what I do. YouTube is my TV now. I try to catch up and watch all my friends' videos and support them. I rarely watch. I still watch Grey's Anatomy. I will confess, I've never missed an episode. It's getting bad though. Like the writing is getting so bad. I'm like, can you just be done? Can we just be done with this? Because I'm just not loving it anymore. But for some reason, I got that OCD. I've watched it from the first episode. I'm not going to stop now. What is your best find ever when treasure hunting? See, that's a tough one because I have found some amazing things over the years. Gosh. I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, there's personal finds, and then there's reselling finds. Like personal finds, the recent find, that leather covered tortoise was, oh my gosh. He has a home up in, it's kind of like the nook between my kitchen and my living room space. He's up there. I see him. He brings me joy. Let me think. I mean, I've found some $1,000 items. Gosh, yeah, that's a tough one because, I mean, I don't know. I can tell you my best ever find was from a storage locker that was from a woman who had worked at NASA through the space shuttle program. And she had autographed photos of every astronaut you could ever wish for. And toward the end of selling, I'd already probably made like $10,000 off of that unit. I was ready to give up. I was sick of astronaut stuff. And my husband at the time, he goes, I think you should go through that one last box. I'm like, no, I just want to donate it. I just want to be done with this stuff. It's just paper. Go through it. Fine. I go through it. Neil Armstrong. Signed, autograph, Neil Armstrong. I sold that. Now, this was back in, let's see, Noah was little. So this was like 16 years ago. And I sold that for $4,000. $4,000. Just that one photograph. One photograph. Okay. Questions. Oh, that's a great question, Deanie. My plans for the members. So the all-in level, that's the $5 a month level. We are going to start doing weekly lives, weekly Q&A lives, weekly more deep dives into things. If I'm traveling or if I'm doing something, then I'm going to upload a video that week or something. I want to do something weekly for that level. For the the full access level, that's going to be more training. That's going to be more one-on-one higher level stuff, but that's kind of where I'm at. At the $2 a month level, what you get for that is I will get a video up before 5 o'clock. And, I publish it at 5 o'clock, but it's there earlier. So I do an early release of videos. When you leave comments, I can go to those comments first and you get priority attention in your comments and those kind of things. And it's more of a supportive level, from you to me, which I truly appreciate. And then we start getting in more into the training at the $5 level. Jordan's wedding plans are coming along nicely, very nicely. I'm going to go see her in August and take her all the lovely goodies that so many of you have sent, candles and vases. And I think we're covered on all that now. I have some flowers for her. So I'm taking all that out. We're going to do some dress mom more shopping because I'm still not satisfied with my clothing outfits, but she's got her dress. She's got her venue. She's got her photographer. She's got, everything's lining up. It's all lining up. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad to see you all here. Yeah, it's funny you guys saying how much Noah looks like my mom. Indeed. You sell books on Amazon. Amazon seems to be going to everything but books. Yeah, Amazon is much more than books now. Much more. Oh, she didn't come over here? Well, darn it. Let's see. You never watch TV anymore. Yep. Yeah, I think Gail, I just kind of answered that one with the Neil Armstrong. So in today's dollars, I don't know. If you guys look up a Neil Armstrong authenticated photograph signed, the man didn't sign anything. He didn't even sign checks because he was kind of paranoid about having a signature out there. And so he just didn't sign things. So to find one with the provenance that I had, and it went overseas. That was the scary part for me. I had to ship it to the UK and I was freaking out because that was a lot of money. I could not afford to lose $4,000. That's probably the equivalent of like $6,000 or $7,000 now. But it all turned out good. In fact, the guy who bought it was able to use his company's FedEx account and international overnight it insured, which was such a blessing. Like, I can't even believe that happened. Patty, I addressed the organizing my inventory. I know it's just, my life is a little insane. And fitting all of these little extra things in, I'm such a creature of habit. I get up, I got my critter duty, and then I'm usually editing, or I have, like these classes that I'm in. And then if I'm not going live, I got to go film a video. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. So I gotta find the places to fit that extra stuff in. I did find a Curtis Gere, however you say that, Jure. I don't know how you say his name. I still have it. I've never listed it because I want to make sure I have a way to ship it before I list it. It's worth about $500. About $500. Gail loves the early release of the videos. Yep, I always try. As soon as I have that puppy ready to go, I release it to the members. Oh, I think I'm caught up. I'm caught up. Oh, when the wedding's over, for sure. We'll share. She's going to share all too. She's a content creator. She's been working some sweet deals too, like with photographers and videographers and things, because she is a content creator. So it's going to be pretty epic. It's going to be pretty epic. Monica's over on Facebook. I am streaming over on Facebook too. You said you had a grandchild. I actually have 5 grandchildren. I do not get to see them. My daughter, who they all belong to one daughter, she doesn't talk to me very much. And that's what happens when you are a young, horrible mother. I will say it. I was a young, horrible mother, and she just can't forgive me. So unfortunately, I don't really have a relationship with her. I'm still hoping she'll come around one day. I love her very much, but that is that story. Were your children homeschooled? Partially. So they actually went to private school when I was married. And for 1 year after I separated, I was still able to keep them in private school. And then I couldn't afford the private school anymore. So they went to a charter school that was pretty predominantly homesteady based. And then 2020 hit and nobody went to school. And that is where we kind of learned to do the homeschooling. And so they've just never gone back into the public school system because if you know anything about Vegas, Vegas has like some of the worst ratings of public school ever. So if I did, well, Noah's done with school, but Rachel is doing really well. She is in an online private school. So she is getting taught by teachers, but she is working from home and has, my supportive care at home. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for her. Your niece was invited to go live on Mars, but would have to commit to not having children. She decided she couldn't do that. People live on Mars? What? How do people live on Mars? I couldn't live on Mars because there would be no thrift stores. No. Like, what is there to do? Ooh. I don't even know what I would do. Oh, I love this question. How do you determine a price on handmade pottery that is signed, but you can't figure out who the artist is? I've been talking about this a lot in videos lately. So particularly in the 1990s, we had like this whole thing of people doing art pottery, and there was so much of it out there. And a lot of it you will never figure out. You will never in a million years figure out who signed that piece. So you have to go with a couple different things. Sorry, you guys, I'm just realizing I might have forgotten to do something important. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Okay, I'm good now. So what you do is you take what you paid for it. You look at the quality, and sometimes even looking at the signature. Is it a generic, like a scribbled signature like you see in a million different pieces? Or does it look like it could be a little better than that? Like there's nuances to the signatures themselves. Does it look like a very amateur signature? Look at the construction of the piece. Is it like a master created piece, or do you see some things that are off with it that shows you it was more of a studio piece? And so you take all those into consideration, the eye appeal of the piece, and go, okay, I shop, I look around. What are people paying for something like this, say in home goods? And then kind of price according to that. Just kind of use your gut on it. I think a lot of times we get afraid that a piece is worth $1,000 and we're going to price it too cheap. And there's a little mantra. My ex isn't good for a whole lot, but he did teach me this. He used to say it to me all the time. Can't go broke making a profit. Can't go broke making a profit. In other words, a sale is better than holding onto the piece and having the money invested and not making the sale. So you're making a profit. If it ends up being worth something more to somebody else, let it go. You made your profit. You've passed it on. Some people are able to sell things for more money than other people. I can't get prices for jewelry that Dawn of Hudson Vintage can get for jewelry because she is the expert. It is her thing. She knows what she's got. People know, like, and trust what she's selling. I'm getting better, but I'm still nowhere near the caliber of that. On the other hand, I can sell a piece of glass for more than she can get in her shop because that is my expertise. And that's just how it goes in this market. Develop your niche, develop your expertise that your customers come to know, like, and trust that what they buy is what they're going to get and they're going to be happy with it because that's truly what people want. Oh, where did that go? There it is. Boop. Let's see. Would Noah ever like to go to culinary school? Nope. He has no desire to go to culinary school. He likes to cook, but he doesn't want to make it a profession. He just does it for fun. Just does it for fun. No antique stores or thrift stores on Mars, right? So Celeste, same type of school. Yeah, she's doing really well. She gets stuck on essays. Essays throw her for a loop. She just can't seem to get them complete. Big projects are still kind of her nemesis, but she's doing it. She's getting there. I love that the school she's at, one of their math subjects, instead of like algebra 1, algebra 2, like going through all the algebras and all of that, she gets to do consumer math. So next year, she gets to learn how to manage a budget, her bank account, her figuring out, like, is this cheaper than this by the ounces, like that kind of math. I'm so thrilled with that. I try to teach the kids that stuff, but having it like be required is super great. I'm like super happy for that. Do you ever go to the casinos or the strip? Only when friends come into town from out of town that want to go. And then I'll go play tourist. But generally, those of us who live in Vegas, we don't go to the strip. It's so funny. I would if I had company to go with. But generally, there's got to be a good reason. Got to be a good reason. Yeah. Stephanie says, I enjoy watching you and NSN. I've been waiting on a booth and still waiting 2 years. Oh, should I just move on? So put in feelers in multiple places, or there's just one place to even put your desire into? Your desire. That didn't sound right. Your request to have a space in. I mean, here in town, I'm on a waiting list in 3 different malls, any of which I would be happy with. So I don't know if there's different places, or is it the kind of place where, so there's one mall here in town, like you just can't get in. Give it up. Like it's the Charleston Antique Mall, because what happens if a space comes available, one of the current vendors takes it. They all just keep expanding and like they just shift spaces. So really getting new people in there is really not happening. So what maybe you might try to do is find somebody who currently has space there, maybe who wants to share, maybe a possibility, something like that, or consign items for you. You got to get creative sometimes. Just got to get creative. Oh, that's so awesome. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. I'm trying to meet up with George. So when I recently went to Florida, the timing just worked out that she was leaving to go to Ohio right when I was coming to Florida. Otherwise, we would have gotten to connect. But we're trying. We're still trying. Does Noah draw or sketch? Nope. He races. That boy, I swear, he's sitting in his sim rig almost from the time he gets up in the morning to the time he goes at night, unless he's editing a video for me. I think that's all he does, which is fine. It's his career path. He's really good at it. We'll let him do it. But it's funny because he gets very, very loud too. Like it gets exciting. So, okay, let me tell you about Noah's sim rig, which I'm so proud of him. He has built a sim rig, like simulator. Like he's sitting in a race car I don't think it's a Formula One race car. I think it's a G2 or whatever the next circuit down, like something. So he's got, there's software that plays on, he's got 3 monitors that curve around him. So he's like, it's literally like sitting in the car. He's got the pedals. He's got the gear shift, like he's driving. He's the steering wheel. Everything is like it would be in the race car. He literally just put a new device on it. I forget what he called it, but it shakes. Like when he goes, like when he hits, a little traction on it, like it shimmies him. So now he's got the movement, and he put a seatbelt in, and like he's putting roll bars on. Like it's so incredible what he's built and what he's done. And he races in leagues, and he's been like the champion season after season. It's like last season, I think they call it P1, P2, P3 position, but they just say P. And so he was at P2, I think, last year over some crazy little accident that he had right at the end. Yeah, so he's very, very serious about it, but I'm very, very proud of him. What are your plans for the future? Will you ever do another store or just be eBay? So I'm very little on eBay anymore. eBay's gotten a little bit tough. I don't have the time to put into eBay to make it like a full-time income. So for me, because I have built this YouTube channel and I have the ability to market a Shopify store, that's where I'm focused, is my own Shopify store. Because with Shopify, it's like a web hosting service that's really, really geared towards reselling. But you have to drive your own traffic. You have to have marketing. So I love that. And I love that for anybody who wants to do that. But it is a little bit tougher road than if you go onto a marketplace that will kind of drive you traffic. The problem with eBay is there's so many stupid little fees now, and like pay to play, like, oh, you have to promote your listings if you want to be seen. I don't believe in that. I don't think it's right. So I kind of am rebellious against that. And because I'm rebellious against that, I don't see the sales on there that other people see. I get trickle sales. I don't have very much. I'm testing the waters with clothing and sending it to Casey Paris, the Rockstar Flipper, has a service where you can send him non-breakables like clothing, shoes, purses, trading cards, toys, like things that don't break. And he will create the listing. He'll take the photos, create the listing into a draft. You still have to okay your drafts and set the price and all that and make it go live. And then he will store it and fulfill the items as they sell. It's a brand new service that he just started. I'm using it. I'm not very quick with getting the stuff shipped to him. Unfortunately, again, all comes back to me. But if anybody is looking for that kind of a service, please let him know. I told you about it. He should give you a 10% off discount to get started. That's what he told me he'd do. There's no like code or anything. You just got to tell him the niche lady sent me. But it's very reasonable for the workload, and that it just makes it so I can have an eBay presence without all the work of trying to get that stuff on eBay. And then I use List Perfectly as my cross listing. And I've just started putting things on Poshmark, and I'm going to branch back out to Etsy. It's just a management of time for me and just sitting down and getting it all done. So the future, I've been thinking about a lot, because obviously I can't keep up the pace that I'm doing for long. Creating content and videos for YouTube at this level is a full-time job. Reselling at this level is a full-time job. I'm working 80 hours a week or more, and I can't keep that up too much longer. So what I'm looking at doing is starting to create some video content that it's still reseller related. It's still like this, but it's going to be more appealing to YouTube to put out there. And like, okay, I'm just going to say it. I am working with Mr. Beast's coach. If you know, you know. Mr. Beast is like ridiculous. Just learning the techniques and stuff that makes a video go viral. So that's not going to be my full-time content. That's going to be like in a growing phase to where I can cut back the amount of videos I'm doing and maybe focus more on my reselling. I love reselling. I can't imagine my life without reselling. That's never going to go away. But I'm just playing with like, what does my future really look like is workload related, because I never stop working, which is not good. So I guess that was a really long answer to that question. Sorry. When you're first starting out selling online, should you keep your prices low? Sorry if this question's been asked. I don't think so. And this is why. It goes back to what I said before. Who's your customer? Who are you trying to attract as your customer? Now, you need to be competitive, but don't play the race to the bottom game. If you see something consistently selling for $20 on whatever marketplace you're putting the item on, there's no need to price it for $15. That makes it look like, okay, what's wrong with this item? Like, you don't want to grow a whole business around discount shoppers. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That is not the best customer to attract. You want to attract a customer by the quality, customer service, attention to detail. Good pictures is a must. Good details in your listing is a must. That will gain the confidence of somebody who's willing to pay even a little more, because they trust what they're going to get is what they're going to get. I don't shop for the cheapest item in whatever I'm looking for, because generally what I found is when I have done that in the past, I have been disappointed with either flaws in the item. It's not what it was represented as being. It didn't get packaged correctly and arrived broken. So just put yourself out there, learn as much as you can, and don't come out there as a new seller. Just right from the get-go, have the confidence, come out and just boom, hit the ground running, and think how you want to be in the future. Start yourself as close to that as you can. I think that's a great question. So many people think that they have to discount everything. Discount is not necessarily the way to go. Can you build a whole niche around discounted items? Absolutely, you can. But then you're going to start going for a quantity of sales versus quality, and that's a lot of work. Have you seen any show? Oh, you mean in Vegas? Have I seen any shows? Yeah, I've seen quite a few shows in Vegas. I still haven't seen a Cirque show. I need to see a Cirque du Soleil show. Foreigner's coming here in October. I kind of want to go to that. I kind of want to go see Foreigner. I've always wanted to go see Terry Fader, and I've never done that. And I think he's gone now, because he was at the Mirage, and the Mirage is gone. Anybody know what happened to Terry Fader's show? Did he get like displaced? Is he somewhere else? I must know. I've seen Blue Man Group. Blue Man Group is cool. Very fun. I've seen some musicals. I saw Phantom of the Opera here in Vegas. Yeah, I go to shows. I've seen some concerts. Do you find Lilliput Lane cottages? Not very much. Not very much. I do know what they are, though. Cindy, so right under where you're watching, it should say, it either says join or it says see perks. I don't know what they've changed it to now, but there's a little button right under the video. Maybe somebody can help Cindy find that. Did I ever find out why the Goodwills in Florida put everything in bags? I did not. That was the oddest thing. And the comments said that wasn't like just a common Florida thing. Like it was just that area. I don't know. Maybe they were trying something. Trying something. Da, da, da. See? I hope he's a fan. You know what? Noah's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows, that he may not make it to be a race car driver. So he wants to go to trade school and learn to be a mechanic. So that's his backup plan, is to work in the pits. And then his backup plan to his backup plan is he can be an announcer. So he's actually doing announcing for some of the other leagues and for some of the races in his own league. And he's really good at it. He's really, really good at it. I hear him in there. Let's see. We're trying to plan something, but they've had a lot of work-related stuff come up. A lot of their travel has to do with their filming schedule because they are in film production. So like, real film production, not just YouTube. And so their work takes them away to different places. So, but we've been trying to put something fun together. We definitely have, and we definitely will. You know what? Vamp is Misty, Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunters, little online selling place. And I won't be selling in there because I have the Knit Shopping Network. So we're not in competition, but there's no reason for me to go over and sell on one of those other places. I'm developing the Knit Shopping Network. And that's just why. I love Misty. Shout out Misty and Vamp. And Vamp stands for Vintage Antique Marketplace, right? Did I get that right? How do you ship items? USPS or UPS? Do you drop off or do they pick up at your house? Do you use the service to put the label? I predominantly use USPS, mostly Ground Advantage these days since they changed it. First Class merged with Parcel Select to now be Ground Advantage. It includes the same amount of insurance that Priority does. So it's good to go with. I use UPS for like extremely heavy or large items because it's still the best option. UPS, I drop off, and USPS, they pick up at my house. My mailman, he's so good. Even when I don't schedule the pickup, he comes and peeks on my porch just to make sure I didn't forget. I use Pirate Ship to print the labels because they will integrate and pull in from eBay, Etsy, Shopify, probably other places too. But yeah, Pirate Ship just makes it so super easy and it's the best prices. Yep. I wish. No, there's only 24. Yeah, some nights I'm pretty exhausted going to bed. So it's so funny because like sometimes I have these grandiose ideas when I finish at night. I'll sit down on the couch and I'll put the TV on and go to watch. And I almost said Jordan. Rachel comes out and goes, "Mom, you fell asleep." Yeah, that happens. What's overwhelming you with Shopify? I know it's a little bit of a learning curve in the beginning, but that once you get it, it's pretty streamlined and it's pretty easy. So, yeah, maybe we can help you through that. So I have a Facebook group called Niche to Profit for Online Sellers. I've had that group for years and years. It is filled with, veteran sellers to newbie sellers. My admin in there is Christy Walker, who actually works directly with eBay very, very closely. She can usually answer all the eBay questions. She's also a Shopify expert. So you are welcome to come over there, ask your questions, and we will help you fix whatever that issue is. Overwhelm, I think, usually happens when we try to accomplish and do too much at once instead of breaking it into bite-sized pieces. So, and I have to do this too, because technology is really my nemesis. So you need to go, okay, what has to happen first? Forget about, all the things that have to come after that. Like, what is this one piece that is holding me? Fix that. Focus on that. That's a hurdle. Now, okay, let's see what's the next one. Hurdle. Pretty soon all the hurdles are jumped. You're at the finish line and you've got your finished product. And it's just, we all face them. Don't give up. No, but I want to. I've never been on one of these, longest yard sales, or like, I so want to do that. I really want to do that one day. It's a long time away from home. That's the problem. With all the animals comes a lot of responsibility, and I don't want to just like leave and dump it all on the kids. Every time I go someplace, they're really good about it. I mean, when I went to Florida, I was gone for 5 days, and I came home. Everything was looking great. Nobody unalived. Thank you, Dolores. Don't undersell yourself. Be fair to yourself. Yes. Yes. When I first started doing online, so I had a little advantage. I spent my childhood in theater, and I loved theater. And then from theater, I had my own band. Now, when I first started singing on stage, I was absolutely terrified. Like, I need a bucket. Terrified, right? I actually had a couple times where I ran off stage. So it was horrible. But I learned to get through it because I loved it so much. I loved it. And you know what I love? It's not even like being lead singer. It's not like the limelight stage. Like, look, I'm the star. It's not that. It is just music. It is the feel of having, like, I can't even describe it. If you're a musician, you know this. If you are singing in a band or in a choir or in a setting where that music just has a life of its own and you feel it, like when you're on stage and you are surrounded by speakers that are playing the instruments of the people around you and you're listening to their talent and you're getting to be a part of that and create music, it is, I can't even like put it into words. I love it. But as much as singing lead, I love singing backup. I love just being backup vocals to somebody else and just being part of it. That was my favorite part in church, is like, I was a worship leader in church. I was singing the lead and that's a lot of pressure. I prefer to sing the backup. I prefer to just sing the harmony and just be there and feel it and all of that. So, but that's where I learned to control stage jitters. And from there, I went to public speaking. I've done Toastmasters. So, and I recommend that if you want to start doing video, there's no better place to go than a Toastmasters organization. And that teaches you to speak in front of people. And it's all people doing what you're doing. It's all very supportive and it's a safe place and you can practice and you can get better at it. So I've done that. And then from there, like I said, I started doing the Vegas Video Network show. And so I had a really, really good director, producer who was in my ear guiding me. And it felt like I couldn't fall. I felt like I had somebody there like to teach me all the things. And that's kind of like how I've gotten to where like I'm not nervous anymore. Like it's comfortable. Now I get nervous when something changes and like the technology doesn't work and like, what are we doing? I do get nervous, and I still get nervous public speaking. I really do. When I have to go up on a stage, I'm like, where's my safety bucket? You know what I'm saying, but you just fight through it. You just fight through it. That's the key. Because you start doing something that you're scared about, pretty soon you're not as scared. And it may never go away. You'll get the butterflies, but you get comfortable. That's awesome, Rosina. I love that. 25 years ago, I started thrifting and reselling was a way to provide for my 3 kids. And that you are who I'm about. I love everybody that, is learning to this, but my inner passion for teaching others comes from mostly women, mainly single moms who trusted life to where, they didn't have to go get some big fancy degree to get some big corporate job and make this, 6-figure income in that level. And it was a way to be home with your babies and make a really good living and do something you enjoy. So that is what I'm truly all about. And, like my mom, who was out there doing something that was making her miserable and ultimately was going to hurt her, if not worse. And then she was able to make a really good living doing something she really, really loved. So you really are the persona of who I champion for. So I'm so happy to hear you're making it work. Eagles at the Sphere. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I love it. Have you given up on live sale platforms? No, I'm on the Niche Shopping Network. Honestly, you guys, please come over and check out the Niche Shopping Network. It's really, it's something cool that we're putting together. And we right now, wait, let me count. Wait. Hold on, I got to count this in my head. 2, 3, 4. We have 5 different hosts and then me. So me and 5 different hosts right now. And that's going to grow. We're growing it slowly but surely. Rosie's Closet was our newest host today. And you can go watch the replays and the stuff. You can still find stuff that's available. It's not like an auction site where it's sold and it's gone. There's no sense to watch the replay. You can watch the Niche Shopping Network replays and you can still scan the codes. You can still go and just think a home shopping network meets vintage. That's what we're all about. And it's super fun. And we try to give information. We have discussions. So if you're a reseller and you want to learn things, come and watch as we talk about the items we're selling too. That's part of it as well. You're probably referring to Whatnot. And I think I didn't come out and say Whatnot in the beginning, but I would have a legal battle in order to sell on Whatnot again. Just because of some really ugly people that have decided to to make it seem that as if I'm running an auction house. Basically, that is what the city of Las Vegas now thinks about me having Whatnot sales. They think that I'm an auction house and I need some special licensing. So I'm just not even up for the battle. I would just rather do what I'm doing now. Piano babies. Yes, piano babies are wonderful. I do did you watch some of the Florida antique mall I went to? There was some phenomenal ones that I videoed there. Oh, it says see perks after you join. Okay, thank you, Deanie. I know that was a while ago. You guys are talking about see, I'm behind again. I'll catch up. Oh, Terry Fader's at the Strat now? Excellent. Oh, at the New York. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out where he went. Yeah. I would still like to go see Terry Fader. He's got a turtle puppet. Come on. Do I see my children following in my footsteps with reselling as a side hustle? I don't think so. Maybe. It's always something they could fall back on if they wanted to. They definitely know how. Rachel takes my pictures and makes listings for me. There you go. She could do it if she wanted to. I have a huge silver jewelry collection. Do you ever buy something like that? You mean buy in bulk? Yeah, I do it. My problem is, and the problem I feel guilty because for me to buy in bulk, I've got to get it for pennies on the dollar. And I would rather see you make more than that. So I kind of always recommend, if you have a lot of something that has value like that, perhaps find an auction house where they will individually sell the pieces, where you can make more than if you sell it in bulk to another reseller. What do you think about listing one item on multiple sites? I'm all for it, because every site, Crispy Kitty, I love that name. Every site has a different shopping clientele. So we often think like, oh, everybody must be checking all the sites. No, they're not. Poshmark buyers love to shop on Poshmark. Etsy buyers love to shop on Etsy. eBay buyers love to shop on eBay. So the same item can find a different customer on all the different sites. So that is why I endorse List Perfectly so strongly, because I couldn't do it on multiple sites without that. And since putting things on multiple sites, it's just like opened up the windows. Yeah. And as an aside, like I hate self-promotion, but there is a 30% off discount for you guys if you do use the Niche Lady code, if you do decide to sign up for List Perfectly. So that's why I'm going to put it out there. But I truly do believe in List Perfectly. I use it myself. I manage my inventory through them. So it pays for itself. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can catch up. How's selling clothes going since you send them out to be listed? I hate selling clothing because of measuring mostly. Yeah, right. Me too. And they do all that. So I've sold 4 things, but honestly, I've only sent in like 30. So it's not horrible considering I really haven't sent that much in, and I price on the high side. I know that's totally on me. I'm supposed to be like sending the offers and everything, and I get really bad about it. But it's not bad for doing very, very little work. It'll grow as I get more things listed. Do you go to the, oh no, you go online. So Diana, you just go USPS.com. There's a schedule a pickup thing. You put your info in and bada bing, bada boom, you're set. And you can schedule it for every day if you want to pick up every day. Yeah, I still set it up, even though my mailman looks, because sometimes there's a substitute. So I always still go in there. But you can set up several days, in advance. It doesn't just have to be like the night before. Oh, that 127 runs from Wednesday through Sunday. It's wonderful vintage. Okay, might have to put that on my list. Joni, hello, my friend. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. So good to see you. Yes, it's getting late for some. I understand. I thank you so much if you have to go. Appreciate it. Oh, Barb understands. Barb understands the music. Yes. It's food that fuels you. It truly, yes, that's it. Yes. Okay, let's see. Do you regret closing your store? Regrets are a funny thing, because it's really easy to look back and regret something. But when you go into it full force. And I like to think of it more as, could I have done without that lesson? Yeah. There were some very, very hard lessons in the good stuff. Do I regret opening it? Not really. I believe we have to go through things to grow. And it was like one of my most eye-opening, pivotal years probably in my existence. And and one that only God knows why I needed some of the lessons that came from it, some extremely painful lessons that came from it, some lost relationships because of it. And maybe that's protection for the future. I don't know. I won't know till I get up there and get to talk to him face to face and say, okay, why did I have to go through this? One of the hardest things, but I think this was the lesson I was also supposed to learn. One of the hardest things was I invested an enormous amount of money. Like, my entire life savings got invested into that store and got lost with that store. And that was really, really scary and hard. I'm very, very proud of the fact that I opened a retail store with no loans, no partners, and no debt, and continue. Like, I never went into debt with that store. I paid every bill that I had. But it did cost me dearly. It did cost me dearly. And I'm very, very fortunate that the landlord was willing to let me out of the lease. Otherwise, I would still be paying for that space through the end of the lease. But they didn't want to get into legal issues with all of the problems that were resulting in loss of business. It was muddy there at the end. If I ever do rent commercial real estate again, boy, do I have the knowledge going into it, which I may or may not do. Who knows? I'd love to. I love retail. I'm not going to lie. I really do love retail. But I would do things a lot differently. I discovered that I am not a great boss. I don't have the patience. And I didn't have the time, and I didn't have the tolerance to be the leader there that I needed to be. And I take full responsibility for that. And so I know I let people down, which meant people let me down, and it was a whole money thing. So just a lot of dynamics that were very, very hard, but I learned so much. So, and the relationships that I did make from it, the new friends that I made from it, the people that I got to meet from it, like all of that, there's no regrets for any of that. So I think the only regret is the amount of money that I invested in it and lost. That I don't know if I'll ever make it all back. It literally was my life savings. So, what is your maximum discount for your items? I've had people send me offers for items expecting a 50% or more discount, then ghost me when I come back with 30 or 40%. Yeah, because that's what they do. They're tire kickers a lot of times, but don't give up. Some of them aren't. It really is going to depend on how much I have into the item. So it goes back to that whole, you can't go broke making a profit. So my goal, obviously, is to sell things at full price. That's never going to happen for everything that you buy. Retail stores don't sell everything for full price. We know they liquidate. So this is where knowing your numbers and knowing how much you have invested in inventory. For me, it's a little easier because I know, okay, I went to this Goodwill and I spent $100 and I bought 20 things, and they all have like different price amounts. But I get to the point now where I have sold, let's say $300 worth of stuff, and I still have 5 things left. Now I know I can take deep discounts on those. I could even sell them for less than I bought them for and still be okay, because at the end of the day, I made the money already. So that's kind of how I gauge things. But generally, if you're going to go less than 50%, wait until you've given it a real good hard chance to sell. Look up the values. Sometimes things go up and down in value. Worth Point is a good place to see like the fluctuations of things, because if you've had something listed for a very long time and now somebody's offering you 50% off, go see if that's a good price. If you still have a margin in there that makes you money, you might just want to take it. It's just going to depend on the item and how much you have into it and how long you've had listed and what the item is and what the cycle tells you is right for that item. But again, sometimes taking that 50% off is better than just donating it, and it gets it out the door and gets money back going in the flow. Going to start selling online. However, a local antique shop has a small space available for $360 a month. I feel that is a bit expensive for a newbie. When is a good time to make that move? So again, it's going to depend on, is that it? I mean, $360, depending how big the space is. Is it, you say small space though. So how much is it per square foot? I will tell you, kind of an industry standard is $3 a square foot. I mean, that's pretty common. If it's more than that, then you need to look like, are you like in a really high-end area, where everything is kind of priced up? Are you going to be able to make the sales that compensate for that higher amount? It sounds high for a small space, depending on how small the space is. But if the traffic is there, you might be able to make up for it with that. It just really depends. Everything comes with fees. Okay. So stay tuned, Kathleen. We know that. See, this is what we're about. We are addressing these issues as they come. We're like just waiting. We are just waiting for the final. There's like all this governmental legal agency stuff you have to go through. We are going to have our own alert system for you guys very, very soon, where you just say which shows you want to be alerted of. And then we're going to send you that alert. So stay tuned. It could be as soon as next week. Coming very soon to NSN. Yes. We've been working hard, you guys. I promise you, we've been working so hard. Oh, Gail. No. I don't want to give my city any more money than I already give them. It's $1,000 for the license, and then you have to get a permit for every event. That is $25 per event, 2 weeks in advance. It's just a whole bunch of bureaucracy that I'm not all about. So it's not worth it to me. I think that link was put in there. So it's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, and it's called Niche to Profit for Online Sellers. I'm sure Melissa can put it back in there again. Melissa was being so awesome about putting all these links in as it goes. She doesn't know what I'm going to talk about. She's just grabbing them and going. She's the best. I get this question a lot. My grandmother has a house full of antiques. What should I do with it? I'm going to keep some, but I really want them going to some passionate about the pieces. That's a tough one. So I would say, obviously keep what you want. So there's different ways. Reselling on those, unless you want to start a reselling business, that's a hard road, one piece at a time. So you might find an estate sale company, because generally an estate sale company is going to price the items at their value, like the first day. You're going to get your passionate people buying on that day. And then they'll discount. And that's kind of when the resellers come in and start buying things. But then resellers get things into the hands of passionate people too. So all in all, that's my recommendation, is to use an estate sale company that will come in, they'll organize everything, or they may take the items to another location and do them, or they could even do them online, but they are the best ones to get you the top end prices, and then they take a commission. Auction houses, stay away from. I got to say it. I'm sorry if anybody's in an auction house company. I have managed 2 auction houses in my life, and both were dirty as the day is long. And I hate it. I hate that about the auction business. And then working with this last one, I got to say, I don't have high hopes for them being any better. I'm sorry. Got to say it. Your emotional about her thing. That's really hard. That's really hard. I know. Maybe give it some time. Don't be in a hurry to disperse the items. Maybe you store them for a while. What? Because you're grieving. I mean, it sounds like you're grieving still. So just give yourself time and space for that. Don't be in too big of a hurry. Do I go to counseling? I do not. I don't. All right. I'll be very transparent here. So let's see. It would have been, how old was I? I think I was 20. It's 20 or 21. My oldest daughter was 3 years old then. And I was divorced. I was newly divorced, single mom. I had no job skills, high school dropout. I was working 3 jobs. I would throw a paper route in the morning, come home, sleep for an hour, go to like my regular 40-hour week job. I filmed, I worked for, what was it? AFS was the name of the company. And I filmed microfiche documents on this machine all day. And that tells you how long ago this was, because we don't even do that anymore. And I would fall asleep. I'd take my break and I'd go out and take a 7-minute power nap. And then I'd get done with that job and I'd go waitress the night shift at Bob's Big Boy. And I did that for a while. I had a breakdown. I had a complete depression breakdown. My medical doctor, put me on, Valium. Thank you. Valium. And I took it and I had 3 days of my life. I don't remember what happened. And I have a 3-year-old and it scared the ever loving bejeezers out of me. And that's when I actually went and admitted myself into an inpatient program. And, that is where I start. I'm one of the first people who ever took antidepressants. I went through all of those in the beginning, all the experimental antidepressants, and I was one of the first ones to have Prozac and all this. So don't get me wrong, I had a really a lifetime of trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and I'm grateful for that, because that got me on the working on myself, all the self-help stuff, because I'm always okay, I can get it from this person, but I only talk to them once a week. I want more. And I'm I dive into whatever I dive into. And so I really, really started working on mental health and getting better and all of that. And I did a lot of counseling up and through my 30s. But then it was it's so hard to find a good counselor. It's really, really hard, really hard. And I don't connect well on a doctor level with most. So again, long story short, I no longer do counseling, but I still very much stay up on self-help and training the brain and how to keep from going into those dark places and all of that. So, I don't know. YouTube has almost gotten me there a couple times. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. It's a good question. How much of my income comes from affiliate sales, and is it worth it? Not very much. I'm not a heavy affiliate pusher. I just can't bring myself to do it. Integrity is just way too important to me. And so I will not endorse anything I am not either currently using or have used with success and believe in. And I will cut a company off if they do me dirty, and then I will pass that information on as well. So it's very important to me, truth in endorsement. And I get emails every single day of companies who want me to endorse them. And I won't do it because I don't know them. I don't trust them. I don't want to just make money by having people sign up for something. It's just not who I am. It's who I will never, maybe someday I'll be like Mr. Beast and create my own chocolate. Maybe I'll do that someday. But for some, affiliate sales can be very lucrative. Like if you have the time to really work with a company, and endorse their products, like, cool. I'm all for it. It's just not something that resonates with my brand on a lot of the things that really can make affiliate income. Mine are more just like services that I use. List perfectly, worth point. And I do get a little commission from Casey's service, because I'm pushing it so heavy, but I also use it. If I wasn't using it and benefiting from it, I could not endorse it. So I hope that answered that question. I love that you guys are helping each other too. I love that. Oh, how do you decide how much you spend each month sourcing? I know my monthly sales. So you know what your monthly sales are. You know that you have to reinvest a certain portion back into your business, but you also know that you have to have a place where you have to pay yourself, or why are we doing this? So I just keep in mind, and it changes month to month, but I kind of have a rolling amount in my head that I can work with, that I know that I can go up to. And you'll see me cut way back sometimes. You'll see me in some videos, I'm pretty frugal. Other videos, I'm like, happy day. It was a good month, So it just really, really kind of goes by how much I made the previous month. So I know kind of where I'm at. All right. I don't even know I haven't even looked at the clock. You guys still having fun? I mean, you're still asking questions. I'm here for it. I just have shipping to do when we get done. Oh, Tiffany, you guys still continue to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. This is an incredibly hard year for her. I don't get to see her as often as I would like. I do talk to her. She's doing okay. But again, she lost her mom. And that's really, really hard. And so just keep thinking about her. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, good, Lacey. I'm so glad you like that idea. Yeah, Valium, bad. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Yes, bad counselors can also ruin a person. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I said. I wasn't going to say the bad word, but I'm like, oh, that's so off color for me. I'm a little passionate about it. Again, one of the things I don't talk about often is I have worked in the domestic violence realm, and I've worked with women going through really bad custody battles, and people who have a justifiable reason to be depressed put this thought in their head that, you can get out of that. Just here, take a pill, or here, talk to somebody, and, we'll fix you. There's something wrong with you. We'll fix you. And you can tell, yeah, it chaps my hide. There are justifiable reasons to be depressed. And there are things in our lives that are hard to get. And sometimes people they just need support. They need somebody to help them feel safe to go forward. They need somebody who can be an advocate for them when they can't speak for themselves. I was that kid who had no voice. And I know that is a huge percentage of women out there also went through that experience, where we grow up and feel like we don't have a voice. Nobody's going to listen to us. It doesn't matter if I speak up for myself. And so then we turn it internally onto ourselves, and that's called depression. And so I believe that you have to find somebody who can help you believe in you. because that's a lot of it. Like, you're not crazy. What you went through was real. This is why your brain acts this way. This whole ADD, ADHD thing we're living in now, with all it, like, a lot of it is trauma survival. Some people don't even like realize that what they went through was trauma, because it was just the way it was. And so, yeah. So, without giving too much information, a lot of something horrible happened to my daughter, and we did the counseling route for a while, and I kind of watched that, and that wasn't going well. And I found a program, and anybody who's got a teenager, let me just get in touch with me. I will connect you. There is a program that gives teenagers it's called a life coach, which I find kind of like just like a not cheesy word, but you think life coach. Oh yeah. No, these are young adults who have been trained to be a support person for teenagers. And they are never more than 10 years older than the teenager they're working with. So they become that lifeline. They become that confidant, that person that they can open up to. And that, I can tell you, has made a night and day difference for Rachel. And so if anybody wants a connection to that, please let me know. Because a lot of these teens that are having so much trouble, that having a person like that is life-changing. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a big advocate of taking meds either. Like, I don't fall, like, I'm a live and let live. Like, my beliefs and my opinions and my stuff, that's for me and my life and what works. I don't judge you for the choices you make. I just express how I feel about things. But I'm very, very skeptical of our pharmaceutical corporate structure. I'll just say that. Yeah. But yeah, so this life coach that Rachel has is the one who's really got her thinking about her life plan, her college plan, getting her. Oh my gosh, I can't. There's some things that are a little, but let me just say some home habits and things that I, as a mother, could not accomplish. This person has been able to work with her on and accomplish, and I don't have to nag her on things, and it has been amazing. It has been amazing. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh, it's after 8:00. It's after. I've been on here almost 2 hours, you guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for everybody just like coming and hanging out. I have been a little remiss in doing this. I'll be honest. It's been. I kind of took some time off. There were some really bad things that happened behind the scenes, things that I just don't share out on YouTube land. Things where I was a little bit scared for my life at certain points. But everything seems to have calmed down now. Every once in a while, a little spark comes up, but yeah, this whole YouTube thing, it's been interesting. All right. Who else has a question before we wrap it up? I think I got to everybody. I'm pretty excited. I think I got through everybody's questions. And there were some really good ones, you guys. Really good questions tonight. And no trolling. Like, ooh, this has been awesome. Indeed. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I want to thrift and resell when I retire to make some profit, but don't want to go back to 40 to 60 hour week. Yes, maybe 25 hours. Is this feasible? Yes. One of the ways to do that Deal with higher margin items, like less selling, but each sale is a really good sale. Maybe you can specialize in like fine art, or like, what do you love? What do you love that's high end? Think about that, because then you don't have to sell very much of it to make the same amount of money as listing, $225 items with a $10 margin. See what I'm saying there? So totally feasible. Any good thrifting in Southern Utah? You'd have to tell me. I haven't been. I do have a friend who's been inviting me up there, though. So it's only a couple hour drive. I really should just go do it. But I don't know. I heard I take that back. I have been to, I forget the city. It's the closest city to Vegas, and St. George. And I have been to a thrift store there. It was pretty good, but that was a long time ago. Thank you, Carol. Thank you guys who have been with me like through this entire journey. I really appreciate you guys. Like, you make it all so worthwhile. When do you go through the storages and sell from there instead of outsourcing? Well, I haven't actually been to the storages in some time, because now it's too hot. Life didn't lend itself well to doing that. I really do. It weighs on me. So that weight of the storage, it does concern me. My problem is, because I create videos that create the excitement about the items that I'm putting in my shop, it's a little tougher. If YouTube wasn't a thing, that's what I'd be doing. I would only be getting my stuff out of storage and selling that before I bought anything else. So I'm also like really careful only to buy things that are going to sell quickly, so that I'm not adding to a storage issue. But yeah, I definitely need to get my stuff out of storage. I do not like having storage. Don't like it. Let's see. I didn't realize it had been this long since I've done a live on here. I do a lot of lives. I'm live every week over on the Niche Shopping Network, but I just don't go live here very often. There are no Goodwills here. Where is here? Where are you? Are you in St. George, Dawn? Because there used to be, I don't know if it was a Goodwill, though. I can't remember what the store was I went to. Thank you, Gail. I love seeing your face. Oh, you live in St. George, so maybe it's changed. Maybe it's changed. I'll have to come scope it out again. We'll have to see. Or maybe you'll have to come down to Vegas. It's not that far to come down to Vegas for a sourcing day if you need to. Just do it. Just make that little drive. Little drive over the hill. Is it a hill? Now that I said that, I don't even know. I think it's a hill, right? I can't even remember. We have so many thrift stores here. It's insanity. And so they just closed, or they're closing, the Deja Blue Goodwill Boutique, which I am going to talk about that more in the membership section, because it's really a business lesson. Some of it has to do with pricing. There's some other dynamics, that we'll go into. But a lot of people didn't even know it existed, which is another problem. And they have a big sign up there that says new location opening soon, but it's not going to be a boutique. And they're leading people to believe it's going to be another boutique. It's not a boutique. It's another full-on Goodwill store. Because I just came from a corporate event. Like, they kind of are in with me. So I kind of know things, and I know the location, and I know when, and it's not a boutique. So I found it very distressing that the employees didn't even like that. That's just wrong. That I shouldn't know things that their own employees don't know. Like, kind of upsets me. But yeah, they're opening up the 18th Goodwill here in Southern Nevada. Actually, I guess it'll just be the 17th because since they're closing one. So it's just replacing one. And then we have 5 Savers. We have another plethora of Salvation Army, a plethora of like little independents. We've got the Assistance League. We've got the Deseret Industries. I think there's 2 of those here. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. And then we've got yard sales all year long, estate sale companies. Yes. Come to Georgia. Get my grandmother's things for free. I've been to Georgia. They had the butter bells that Dawn used to make her jewelry jars. I bought them. I did. I know what you mean, Lacey. I know what you mean. I'm like that when I give something away. Like I don't want it to go to somebody who doesn't really love it. I love stuff to go where it's going to be loved and appreciated. Absolutely. All right. I think I need to wrap this up because I still have some shipping to do. I'm not going to get it all done tonight, but being under the weather for the weekend, I got behind and I need to get caught up because I don't like being behind. So with that, everyone, there'll be a new video out tomorrow evening that I hope you will come and watch. And if you join the Niche Nation membership, you'll get early access to that video. I should have it posted somewhere around like 11 or 12 my time. So members will get first dibsies at watching that. And then watch, if you are in the all-in or higher level, be watching. I'm going to schedule our first live for that coming up soon. And we'll dig into business. And that's where you can like really get hardcore and like, let's grow your business. Let's do it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. With that, go be profitable and make it fun. We'll see you on the next one.